Acid rain, no communication, no resources. The population is dwindling. Everything's fine. What's up, guys? This is Adam and Jason, Tabletop Vibes, and today we're checking out Cities of Venus by Tin Robot Games. What did you think?
Well, this was a unique game. So what you're doing is you take control of a floating city, and you're managing in Venus, on the clouds of Venus, and you're managing some of the resources, which are the V-naughts, which are V-naughts, which are little peoples, and
spacemen.
Yeah, you're scrambling because you've lost contact with Earth, and you still have some pods of resources coming from Earth, but you don't know what's going on. So you got to try to prevent your city from falling apart. You got to manage your resources. You have to manage the supply drops. You have to create V-naughts through growth. You know, they eat, they make more. And then you lose a bunch because it's Venus and stuff happens.
Yeah, there's events that get triggered as in, well, whenever you're on Venus, it happens, right?
Yep.
But like, they're disastrous. And so it's super fun though, because it creates this element of like tension. Like, do I put my guy in the wind turbine? Do I put him in shields? Do I put him in food? And you have all these different sections that you can put your V-nauts in. And when these events come on the drop, then you can end up losing a lot of that. And if you're not prepared for every section that you don't have a V-naught little spaceman in, you lose two in other areas.
Yeah. Which is pretty crippling.
Which I would know, because I decided to be like, no, I'm gonna chance it because I live life on the edge of Venus. And then Venus said no.
Yeah, and you start with about a dozen, so early on it can be pretty debilitating to lose a couple of them. But there's some really interesting things about this game. So first of all, it's an easy setup. So we set it up, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. So you're not going to be sitting there for a long time with a big rule book, having to preset this game up. You can pretty much set up and go.
Yeah, the setup was probably like 5 to 10 minutes. We reread over just a couple of the quick key references, and then we were good to go. Yeah. And if the game plays 2 to 5 players, might get a 6th expansion player. Who knows yet? But it's pretty quick. And the cool part about why I like it too is because the end of the game is triggered by the Earth card. And so there's 3 drop decks, 1, 2, and 3, and it's randomly mixed inside the Earth deck. So the drop deck 3, the Earth card. And so once it comes up, you're done.
That's right. So you don't know when it's going to end, so you don't know when you kind of have to push your luck and try to make that last ditch effort to get a lot of points. The upgrade is kind of interesting where you get more resources, you get more points, and as you get more points, you have less space to house your people. So it's kind of, when do you make that switch?
Right, and so you have quad layer player boards where you can like insert the card in when you upgrade it to slide over the current like standard basic information that you have in your Venus ship space station. And so you're drafting cards and paying for them off this drop row, I guess you can say, and then insert it into your tableau. And they have different things, like you can hold more guys, which is good sometimes to be able to spend those guys. And so you're always in this like kind of battle of like, do I take the card and spend the resources to make the more points, to make the more guys, or do I just take the one to save myself from the event that's coming next turn? So it's always this like tug of war, which is what I really like about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the components themselves are really nice. Even the little V-nuts, little Venus astronauts, are kind of these cute little meeples, kind of unique little design. Yeah. Some of the rest of the monies are gems because you're going down and you're mining the resources from Venus.
One of your guys always dies.
It's a one-way trip.
It's a one-way trip. I love that. That was good.
Yeah, the components themselves are really kind of cool. Yeah. And overall, the layout even of the early game is kind of neat. So it's divided into 6 different stages, and 1 through 5 is done simultaneously. And in the first round, you don't really do too much different, so it almost acts like a tutorial.
Yeah, which I found really helpful.
Yeah, it was really kind of cool. The 6th round, or the 6th step of the round, is where you take turns taking the pods that are available for dropping, so to get more resources or more people. So that's where you take your turns back and forth. But because those first 5 steps are simultaneous.
It's like a walkthrough.
Yeah, and it speeds up the game.
Yeah.
And the game itself, we finished it under an hour.
Yeah, and that was...
No, it was two of us.
Yeah,
but,
and that was with, like, checking stuff and looking back at stuff and can we do this and can we not do that? So, like, once we were to play again, we could probably do it in 35, 45 minutes. Yeah. And the other fun part is every round, you lose a guy in shields.
Yep. So there's always kind of a...
You're always losing somebody.
The planet's always coming to get you.
Yeah, all the time. It's just a really fun game. It's coming out to Kickstarter May 2nd, so make sure you check out the link in Instagram bio inside this YouTube as well, channel bio, where you can click on it. It'll take you to his Kickstarter site. I mean, it's going to be really cool. So
yeah, looking forward to it.
Keep an eye out. Be careful of Venus. It's very dangerous. Yeah. And Dreadnought on. Like, subscribe, and comment on if you've played or what you think you like most about this game.
Or what you think you like most about Venus.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks for watching, and we'll check you next time.